That would be better.
Yeah, cool. Give me money.
No, we're supposed to get our budget for sometime this month, and then we'll have snacks here. I think.
Literally, because the snacks that I've been bringing, either I paid for myself, I've been 300 for another club.
Body meeting.
You know what? That's fair.
All right, we're gonna get started. So, as I've been informed, apparently this is the 8th meeting, not the 7th. Apologies for that. I've been dying this week. So, in terms of roll call, I know that we have 13 voting members out of the 13 voting members that we need because we have been manually counted the whole time. I've been a part of that. So huzzah! We can actually do stuff. In terms of the agenda, so we have 2 voting items, a Senate nomination for Zion Bishop, and then a open letter about possibility of a divvy bike station near Keating. For that, we have an introduction to T. Nguyen, I think is how you say your last name, T?
Nguyen.
Nguyen.
Yep.
Thank you. So, take it away, T.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad to be here this evening. And, first of all, I want to just thank you for your leadership and really representing SGA and representing the students. I think that's really, really important. I've met a number of you, but I don't know everyone. And so what I want to do is just tell you a little bit about my role and some of the things that we've been working on this semester, and definitely open it up for questions. I do want to share that I've been meeting with Nova on an ongoing basis, weekly right now. We've had some really good conversations, and just want to give you a lot of credit in terms of really wanting to improve the student life, the campus life experience here at Illinois Tech. So a lot of credit to all of you. So again, I want to make this more of a conversation. And if you hear some background noise, my apologies. My kids are getting ready for bed in the next 20 minutes, so it gets a little loud in the house this time of evening. Just a little bit about the areas that I oversee. So my official title is AVP for Student Engagement and Career Services. And the areas that roll up to me, or that I like to think about that I help facilitate, include career services, pre-collegiate, campus life, and then portions of housing and res life as well. I've been at Illinois Tech for just over 3 years now, and I can say with confidence, there's no other place that I'd rather be, as I've been in the higher education space for a long time now, about 21, 22 years, and spent 11 years at Northwestern and 7 years heading up the Career Center at UIC before coming to Illinois Tech. So just a little bit in terms of what we do and some of the specific highlights for this year. I'll start with the career services side of things. You may not be aware, but so far this fall, we've hosted nearly 200 employers on campus already. So that's through our combination of career fairs, on-campus recruiting, information sessions, and a whole host of other activities. And we have big plans coming up for the spring semester as well. Really making sure that students have opportunities to connect with employers. We also added 2 new career coaches this year who are really focused specifically on advising students, and they bring a lot of experience. One of our new coaches is actually an alum of Illinois Tech, I believe a degree in electrical engineering from a number of years ago. And they're wonderful. So Bernie and Julie, if you have the chance to meet with them, I think you'll really enjoy it. On the career service side, we also have added new resources for international students. And we continue to see increased involvement in activities and programming that we offer. On the campus life side, you may not be aware that campus life, in addition to serving as an advisor for student organizations and so forth, we are major participants and help plan convocation, welcome week, and also orientation sessions for incoming students. So I really want to thank Graham and the rest of the campus life team for all their efforts. It's actually a real heavy lift. And then on the res life side, the housing side, hopefully you've seen a difference over the past couple of years. The big focus is really improving communication and the experience for students living on campus. We have roughly 1,600 students living on campus this year. Hopefully the students are enjoying the renovated residence halls. We've Carmen Hall is the newest hall to be renovated. And, that's 3 residence halls in 3 years. And so hopefully, there'll be a chance to really do more in the future as well. But I'm proud to say we're close to capacity right now in terms of students living on campus. But the most important thing is really having the sense of community for folks living on campus. The big initiative at the university right now, there's a number of them, but one of the big ones is Elevate. Some of you may be familiar with Elevate as far as previous iterations, but really what we want to do is get students involved on campus and connect with co-curricular activities. That includes internships, competitions, and so forth, because the data really proves that the more involved you get, the greater it leads to success after graduation. So really at this stage, we're doing really well, but we want to do better. If you look at our career placement or outcomes rate, we're sitting at around 91, 92% right now of our graduates have a positive career outcome 6 months, up to 6 months after graduation. And why is that? That's the opportunities that you engage with while at Illinois Tech. It is SGA, it is being involved in other student organizations, it's competitions, it's the iPros, it's a combination of things, the academics, obviously, and all of those things make a difference. So our goal is to constantly get better. My goal, and really what I want to hear from you this evening for just a few minutes is really how can we continue to improve the student life, the campus life experience for all of you. In many ways, this is our first year that's a little bit normal in a few years. For those that were here last year, I think it was a transitional year. In many ways, we're figuring it out again, how to be on campus. And this year, operations were much closer to normal. And certainly, we're not done with COVID, but we figured, a number of things out. So just want to thank you, everyone for your patience and really getting through the past, few years as well, because it's been hard, I think, for a number of us. And I'll end with, what I tell a lot of groups of students. I think it's so important to take care of one another during this time. I think we're still making the transition and adjustments. Top of mind for me is everyone's mental health and well-being, and know that there's a lot of folks here that really care about the student experience here on campus, and we're working really hard to make it better all the time. We're not going to be perfect, but we're certainly going to do our best, and we want to be in a mode where we listen, but also take action as well. Because for you as students and as leaders, you do have the opportunity to drive change at the university, and I think that's one of the most important things you can do at SGA, along with really representing truly the student body. And it is a diverse student body that we have here at Illinois Tech. And, again, just thank you for serving and in your roles, as senators and VPs and so forth with SGA, and know that, I have the most respect for the work that you're doing. So I'll pause there and certainly happy to take some questions.
All right. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they would like to say?
I just want to say thank you. That was really, really sweet, really nice, very validating.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you do make a difference. And if I could, it's been a long time since I've been in college. It's actually really hard to remember college now for me, my undergrad years. But if I could impart any advice, it's just maximize your experience at Illinois Tech. I think when you're at university, it's easy to kind of get in a bubble, because there's a routine, right, in terms of classes and SGA and other activities. And that's how, I think that's often how you're successful as well. But if you take a step back, the university, Illinois Tech, it's a pretty special place. And I see it every day. Our graduates do really well. Post-graduation, they go on to do amazing things. And a lot of it is really the experiences that they obtain while being on campus and being a part of the community. I think one of the most important things we all can do is help form that community, reach out to those in need. That sense of community really helps all of us to be successful. And it's a big focus for us at the university here.
Well, I'm not currently seeing any other comments or questions or anything like that.
All right. Okay. Yeah. No, thanks for having me. I can't stay, but I just want to say I want to continue the conversation. Love to come to a meeting in person here in the future. You can't replace the in-person experience, in my opinion. And so I'm sorry I got to jump here in a few minutes, but again, I just want to thank you for having me, and thank you for serving.
Thanks.
All right. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So moving on from that, we have the first voting item of the night, the Senate nomination of Zion Bishop. Zion, do you want to just stand up and say a couple words on why you want to join Senate?
Yeah, sure. Should I stand in the middle or?
Up to you.
Okay, just so. Well, my name is Zion Bishop. I feel like the reason why I want to join SGA is because I really want to, be there for the students. I feel like I've had a lot of experience already, like with helping out students and like planning events and stuff to help like just the students as a whole. And I feel like I just want to contribute like more to them, cater to them. I think this SGA position is it's very fitting for that.
Cool. So as usual, we're going to, based off of that, we're going to go into our 5-minute question and answer period. Nova?
I think the basis of this question is pretty self-explanatory, and I've asked it to a bunch of senators before. How can we, as the voting members, know you're going to attend future Senate meetings?
Yeah, sure. Well, on Wednesdays, I don't have class. But I would say that I am pretty passionate about helping the students. So that's kind of like my main goal anyways. So I do want to attend all the meetings that like I can, because I want to voice my opinion and voice the opinion of other students that they have. I don't know. I just think that like just being determined to help students drives me to be here.
This is a pretty standard question too. What is like some other like prior experience that you have in like leadership and representation?
Yeah, of course. So if you guys don't know, I'm part of 3 exec board or clubs here at IIT. I'm on the treasurer for the Squirrel Club. I'll talk about that a little bit. So recently we actually had a zoo trip where we all went out to the zoo. It was like at least 15 of us. So it was kind of nice. But like the main president and them kind of drove off from the group. So I kind of like let everybody else kind of around the zoo and stuff. But I think so our main purpose with that club is for the students, because like we're kind of just like a social club, it's not to be taken too seriously. So we cater kind of towards the students. That's why we're the Squirrel Club, because we're just like a social club trying to get people away from doing work and just stuff like that. So I think that like that was definitely like a huge thing that I've done recently that have helped other students.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Are there any online? All right. Do I have
I'd like to make a motion to move into questioning or debate.
discussion?
Discussion, yeah. Sorry.
So, cool. Do I have any objections? Seeing none, we move into discussion. Would you please step out?
You want me to get it?
Yes, please.
That would be much appreciated.
Moving up in the Senate.
I'm gonna pinch my fingers.
Yeah, you sort of just gotta let it like fall in.
Yeah. So,
I want to start off by saying I've met Zion totally 3 times in my entire time here at IIT. And out of those 3 times, all I can tell you is that he is a great people person. He knows how to talk to people. And from what I keep hearing about him, he's a great leader for executive boards. And honestly, he's the type of person we need in Senate right now. So, thanks.
I'm gonna second that because during like Welcome Week, Tech News and Squirrel Club were tabled next to each other, they had nothing on their table, but the sheer charisma and like eagerness to interact with other people, they were really highly visited, highly trafficked. Like a lot of people wanted to interact with them. A lot of people like stood there and talked to them for like a while. So I definitely think that kind of like interaction is something that we need, because if we're really trying to increase our outreach and our engagement with the student body, having more people like Zion, I think would be really useful for that. So
Cool. Are there any other comments or concerns?
I would say it's pretty nice that it doesn't seem like he has any conflicts with being here at this time, and that he seems enthusiastic about wanting to come to meetings, which of course is something that we could all use. I've met him a few times. I don't know him too well, but from what I see, he does seem to be pretty leadership oriented, pretty outgoing, as other people have said. So yeah, all gave him Zion.
Are there any concerns that anyone has with him?
So far, so good.
All right. Cool. Do I have a motion to move the previous question?
So moved.
second.
All right, cool. I realized I don't actually have anyone who's managing voting form, so we'll get to that in a second.
Is that fair to everybody in the e-board?
Yes, it is.
No, there was like we specifically don't share it with everyone in the e-board, I thought.
Get
Privacy. Okay, yeah. I mean, if it's there, it's there.
Okay. So I'm gonna get that worked out with Elio while we move on to the next voting item. Nova, you want to come down here and explain what's going on?
So I'm not really going to say anything new that wasn't already on the open letter, which is available on the Discord and the agenda and whatnot. But the basic idea is Divi is already looking to build a electric bike rack on Keating on like the east side sidewalk. And the main purpose of SGA voting on this matter is to put SGA support behind this movement, and specifically towards the IIT side of it. We're just letting IIT know that, hey, we do agree with this. We think it is a good thing for the student body. And in particular, like some pretty easy to observe evidence of that is just looking at the 33rd and State Divi bike rack. As some of you guys know, right in front of MTCC, there's a pretty decent sized bike rack. And almost every day consistently, during peak hours, that bike rack just empties out. And so this kind of forces students to find other bike racks in the area. And then when those peak hours are down, because there's more students using bikes than that were here on campus, it often results in overflow. And so we have more bikes than we do charging stations, which both is just inefficient for like the Divi side of it, because now these bikes aren't getting charged, but also for the sake that it shows that there's just demand for students, and then students are having to leave campus in order to get this, which is, it's inconveniency, it's not accessible, and it's just like we could do better. So the general proposed plan is the location is also pretty important. In general, Divi, I would just say, just from personal experience in this area, kind of tries to have a bike rack every 1 to 2 blocks. Very easy to access, and part of the problem with the 33rd and State location is that while it is very easy to access for Row Village and to a lesser extent students who are in MSV, it is essentially a block away for students who live in Keating, Cunningham, Kasich, and Gonzales. Keating, I know I just said Keating, whatever. The 4 buildings down there, and so it's just less accessible. And I think a bike rack at the Keating Sports Center would be hugely beneficial to them. And then also, I think there'd be a lot more usage of the bikes, because now if we have 2 locations on campus, that allows students who are near MTCC to use the bike rack, go to the one at Keating, and have basically inter-campus travel with the Divi bike racks, which would increase usage and promote a further like a cycling culture at IIT. And I think just overall be good for the environment of IIT. This came to me. I will be honest, I'm not the one who's pushing the initiative for Divvy. That would be Senator Jacob Thomas, who's been pushing that really hard. And then I just want to put my support behind this officially on the SGA side. And then also I had Vice President Elio sign in on it. So that's why I'm here today, to ask for all the voting members' support to get SGA's name on this bill and to bring it to administration or open letter.
Thank you. All right, with that, we can move into the usual 5-minute question and answer period. So does anyone have any questions or things they would like to know more about? Chris?
Just a point of clarification. So is it that Divvy wants to put something on campus and they need approval, or do we need, or are we trying to ask Divvy for that?
Divvy already has their full support behind. They want to put this bike rack on campus. So this letter is aimed towards administration to be like, hey, we support what Divvy wants.
Okay.
Alejandro?
I'll just say that for the 2 years that I was living in MSB, having a Divvy station next to eating would have been astronomically beneficial for me. And just walking there from here and back. I mean, it's not the most annoying thing ever, but it adds up over time. I mean, if I save like 3 minutes and I make 100 trips, that's 5 hours I can spend studying or watching some sort of movie trilogy. Yeah, I'm all for this.
All right. Are there any other questions?
Hello, Nova.
Go ahead.
So it's about the public safety. So is there a meeting that's going to be held on Friday with the public safety?
I think right now we're just looking for discussion on this letter. I will go into discussion about my meetings later in the meeting.
Okay. All right. No worries. Yep.
Are there any other questions about this open letter, or do I have a motion to move to discussion? Do I have a second?
Okay.
Do I have any objections? Seeing none. Go on ahead. All right. So, comments, questions, concerns, nuclear options.
This is a great initiative of bringing the Divi bike at Keating. That would be useful for so many students on campus.
Yeah.
I'd like to second that comment. I use Divvy very regularly to go between places like Chinatown and campus, or like downtown and campus, specifically when it's like at night and you don't really want to ride the CTA or the buses because the service time is terrible. Divvy is a great alternative, and it sucks that if I want to ride Divvy from Chinatown to campus, I have to go all the way to MTCC only for me to backtrack to my dorm because there's no locking station there.
Gotcha. I second that.
A locking station by Keating would benefit a lot of students, especially being able to just generally travel throughout campus. We'd have 3 stations in the 3 main zones of campus. It would not only provide, as my friend here, Tessa, mentioned earlier, a profit for Divvy, but it would also provide a lot of connectivity throughout campus. So,
Chris?
I am not someone who uses Divvy, but I do think this would be really nice for a number of reasons, but also, as Nova mentioned earlier, there's like an overflow of bikes and scooters a lot of the time. And that's like, it's an inconvenience for a lot of people to have to walk around it, but it can also be, a safety hazard to leave that kind of stuff just sitting around, especially since people don't always watch where they're going when they're walking. And so it's also just a bunch of stuff that sits there and doesn't charge and everything. And so it'd be nice to have this extra charging station so that we can accommodate all the, bikes and scooters that end up on campus.
Thank you. Are there any concerns specifically? Because it seems like everyone's largely in agreement that this is a good idea. So I want to hear more concerns specifically.
I don't think you're going to get any.
All right. Do I have a motion to move into voting?
Second.
So moved in second. Do I have any dissents? Guessing not. Seeing none, you can go ahead and release the voting form. Thanks. So moving on from there, we can start off with the exec reports. Elio?
Oh, I'm first. Cool. Sorry, let me finish my voting. Okay.
Take your time.
Sorry, these chairs are tight for me. I do have a second slide. So it's that time of the semester again for me. I'm updating the website. So what I need from all of you, I'll reach out to you via email, is I need a quick description of you and why you are a senator, and an optional photo. You don't have to put in the photo. I prefer it if you do, because then students get to see your beautiful, beautiful face. But yeah, please do fill that information out when I send it to you. I have all your information, so you cannot hide from me. And please do help out with the website if you can. I want to finish this by end of semester because our website is horribly outdated in terms of policies, senatorial updates, layout modifications, you know, all that stuff. I think our senators there are like a year or two old. Most of them are not here anymore. So if you can help me with that, that'd be great. And then Instagram sort of paused due to midterms. I had a crazy few weeks, but Instagram will be back and up and running next week, posting about Senate meetings and any updates that we have. Otherwise, that should be it from me for tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Elio. I believe Nova, you're next.
Yeah. So first I'll start off with some of my reading recaps. I met with OCL yesterday with T and Graham. So like some great news is there has been increased adoption of Suitable. We're up to 42% of students on campus have used Suitable in the last month. And on the news of Suitable, I did bring up to T to bring up the follow/join clubs feature that we had discussed at the Senate retreat. That will be discussed at the next Suitable meeting, which I think is next week, like Thursday, if I remember correctly. I might be like a few days off on that. And then I also brought up with T the Palestine Swiss flag comments that we have heard, and that will be discussed with higher administration soon. I might even personally attend that meeting, so I'll be hoping to represent the students' concerns with that.
Would they consider adding the Assyrian flag as well?
If you could send me more information, that won't be on the discussion. We're just focusing on these two because that's something that we've talked about for the last few weeks. But if you want to talk to me about that, I'm sure we could have another meeting and bring it up at the future or in future meetings. Food Advisory Board restructuring. So I've been working with an intern over at Chartwell's as well as with Chartwell administration, and we're looking to change Food Advisory Board to increase participation and overall get more stuff covered. So we're looking to expand to, I believe, 6 permanent-ish seats. And the idea is that each seat will control one kind of food region at IMT. So like one at Center Court, one at the Kaplan Cafe, one at 10 West, and one for Global Grounds, 2 for Commons. And the idea of that is that if there's one student focusing on kind of one region, they should be able to more specifically like handle questions, concerns, and like be more specialized, as opposed to what we currently have right now, which is just a bunch of random people kind of come in and bring their own questions, mostly just me. So people who decide to take up this opportunity will be compensated with meals or meal exchanges for their time. We haven't quite settled on what exactly that will be, but there will be compensation available. Just because, 45 minutes in the middle of like prime class time isn't something available for anyone, and anyone who's putting in that effort should be rewarded for that time. And we're not currently looking for people at the moment. That we're still like going over. I'm just letting you guys know kind of the plan now. Once we have the material ready, the promotional material, and we're all in agreement, then we'll send that out. We're looking towards the beginning of November, like November 2nd or November 1st, I think is when we're thinking about throwing it out. So you'll hear about it. And there'll be more Senate meetings where I will discuss that more in detail. I just wanted to let you guys know officially like first and foremost, that this is happening, and it's something I am very excited for.
Point of information from Graham, the next meeting, he has responsibility. It's going to be Wednesday, 10/26.
Wednesday, okay, yeah. If in case you guys didn't hear earlier, the next meeting with Suitable will be next Wednesday. So yeah, I should hopefully have a follow-up either, if not that Senate meeting, then the Senate meeting after. All right, future meetings, food advisory board meeting. I have that next Tuesday. If you want to attend, message me on Discord, privately or on the channel, I don't care. I'll be discussing some current plan topics, our weekend halal options. Some students brought that up, I believe, at the last Senate meeting. So we'll be discussing about expanding that and looking into it. DineOnCampus.com accuracy. In case you guys don't know, Dine on Campus is the official menu for IIT. You can navigate through it and see for yourself. As anyone knows who has used it, it's not always the most accurate service. And I believe that's probably more so a disconnect between the people who plan the meals and the people who cook them rather than anything else. So we're going to see what we can do to fix that. Obviously, there might not be 100% accuracy all the time because they might order something planning for it to be there and then it not be there. But it certainly could be better. We're also going to talk about the second grill. So if you guys don't know, at the grill station, there are 2 grills. One of them tends to never get used, the one on the right side if you're looking in. So I'm gonna bring up if we could use that for people with allergies or ethical dietary restrictions, just to help those people, you know, have more options at the grill. It shouldn't be that much more effort, and the supplies are literally there. It is like the grill is installed, it works. It's just not being fully utilized. So I plan on bringing that up. And then Narendra, I saw you had your hand raised.
Yes. So on interacting with on-campus students, most of the students, they are just waiting on the Indian food to be coming back in the center court. So they want it back at any cost. That's what they're trying to tell me directly on my face. I was like, okay, hold on. Let me work with the student government and see what we can do on that. I mean, with the Chartwells, I mean, they said that it will take 4 weeks for them to bring it up and running.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, you basically have, that is correct. They are looking at each station will be on kind of a 2-station cycle, and that's so every 4 weeks, one of the station, or every 2 weeks, one of the stations will cycle, and then specifically in that spot, if you're looking at, you know, that right-hand station, it'll be every 4 weeks it changes. So for 4 weeks, it'll be the Indian station, and for 4 weeks, it'll be the Mexican station that we currently have.
Thank you, Nova. I appreciate it. All right.
Yeah. Oh, Graham.
Yeah, real quick, I heard from Dining today, and they're going to be releasing their annual survey. So
Yes.
look out for info about that, Nova.
Thank you for reminding me. I am aware of that. They are hosting they want a lot of participation on this survey. They just dropped it. If you follow their Instagram, you know they've done it because the giveaway that they're doing involves you doing it. But there is a giveaway along with the survey. There is a giveaway to IIT students of one of 3 products, and you know these are really, like, I think big products to try and incentivize students to do it. It's a $250 Amazon gift card, the newest AirPod Pros, like the ones that just dropped very recently, and then the newest Apple Watch. So all products at about like $250-ish range. They really want to get student participation. They're hoping 500 to 600. And so what you guys can do if you want to help with that is fill out the survey. It's really quick. I did it in like 15 minutes. It really isn't that much effort on your part, and it's super fast and super simple, and it helps them a lot. And then B, if you could share that survey with people you know, I know it's like annoying to hassle your friends to fill out a survey, but it really does help improve like campus. Like students ask all the time, I want my voice heard. I want a survey. I want to, Chartwells to know my opinions. And this is the thing to do it. You just got to put in the effort. Thank you for reminding me of that, Graham. And go ahead.
Kind of going back to the grill usage in terms of allergies and dietary restrictions. One of the things I've noticed is sometimes, when it's really busy, in center court, they will use like the same serving utensils for stuff like meat stuff,
Yeah,
those
versus-
vegetables as well. I know that can be like problematic for a lot of people.
Mhm.
So if it's possible to bring up that in a meeting, that would be really nice.
Yeah. It should be a pretty easy thing to bring up. So yeah, I'll make sure to bring it up next Tuesday.
Thank you.
And okay, so
Where's that survey?
the survey is, I believe it, Graham said it got sent out by email. It's in the Discord.
It's gonna be in the Campus Life newsletter. They're sending it all over, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Yeah, and then also if you follow their Instagram, I think it's Tech Eats is the username. They also have it on there as well. And then finally, I have a facilities meeting this Friday. Just got it scheduled today. For those of you who don't know, I have a meeting with facilities. They're one of my points of contact. And that's everything from public safety to general maintenance of the campus to like future planning of campus stuff. I think it's a pretty big deal meeting, and I really do enjoy meeting with them, and they do seem incredibly receptive to student feedback. So one of the things we brought up at our Senate retreat was the parking lots. I'm sure for students who use them often, it's no secret that the parking lots are not in the best condition. So I'll be looking to see if we can't get that, like, it's obviously like I can't say it's gonna be fixed this semester because that is kind of a big project. There are a lot of parking lots and there is a fair bit of like revamping and refurbishing and repaving that needs to be done. But it is something I want to put on IIT's higher administration's like radar and hopefully get it expedited so we can see it within like a soonish relative time. One easier fix that we might see, I want to bring up, and hopefully we might see next semester, is switching from stickers to tags. If you're not a commuter student, which I know I'm not, so I learned a lot of this. In order to signify that your car is allowed to park, get a sticker. And some students expressed concern that that is a safety issue for one reason or another, like cars get targeted for that. So, and there has supposedly been studies to show that the tag system, which hangs kind of in your window, is better than stickers. So I'm going to ask if we can't switch that. It should be a relatively easy fix, I would imagine. Also, getting the SGA banner removed from the Prism room. If you guys walk by the Commons, you know exactly where I'm talking about. There is a giant like in-window banner. And that was from when we used to occupy that space, but now that has been handed off to Prism. So getting that removed, you know, it should be a no-brainer. Shouldn't be that hard. Hopefully turnaround on that could be sometime within this semester. Gonzalez washers and dryers. So this one came from the MCCC tabling session. Some students expressed concern that the Gonzalez washers and dryers just, you know, aren't working, aren't, you know, being maintained properly. So getting that fixed is a priority. And they have been receptive to fixing things in the past. I remember last year, Row Village was really bad with their washers and dryers, and also MSV. And when we brought that up to them, they got fixed. Like the washers in Row Village and MSV are better than they were last year. And then also another student suggestion from the MTCC tabling session was the library leaks. Something it wasn't specific as whether the windows or the roof was sealed. I think it's the windows aren't properly sealed. So when there's rain, it makes its way into the window space and into the library. I don't think I have to explain why that's bad. It shouldn't be like a hard issue to fix. Leads to water damage, can get into outlets, creating electrical hazards. So I'm going to bring that up. And then, one thing I wanted to ask, I normally don't end my things in this, but I did want to ask 2 questions. First off, there.
I do actually have a question about the Chartwell survey. Does it ask about the center court rotations that were recently established?
So no, is the short answer. And the reason that is because it is hosted by Chartwell's grader. So it's kind of a survey, both for Chartwell's here, but also so that Chartwell's can, IIT Chartwell's is benchmarked to Chartwell's grader. So the specific features we have here might not be discussed on that survey because, you know, they can't include that on every survey. Yeah, I did have some questions. Unless you like really think it's pressing, I would rather you respond in Discord. I created 2 threads in the general channel of the IIT Discord. But I did want to ask, I want to say here, student org leaders, what do you want from Suitable? You know, whether you use it as a student org leader like frequently or you don't, like if you don't, why don't you use it? And what do you want to see on Suitable? What should be on there that would make you move to Suitable? And then student org leaders who do use it, how can we make the experience better for you? That is related to kind of what T was talking about, and then also the discussion that we had with OCL. Because obviously we can't improve Suitable if we don't know what people want. We can only guess. So yeah, if you want to respond, please do. I'm also going to ask the finance board chair to bring that up, hopefully at the next finance board hearing, because that is like an optimal place to do that, where all the student org leaders, or many of them, are coming together to be together. So I think that would be a great space to talk about that. Then also, students, what's your experiences with Hawkworks? A lot of these issues we get here in student life is maintenance issues, and a lot of them I feel like could be fixed if more students were willing to use Hawkworks. Or like Hawkworks, in case you guys don't know, I think a lot of people use it for like their own room, right? You have an issue in your room, the light goes out, the window is not closing properly, so you report it in your own room. But Hawkworks is for anywhere on campus. You can submit a location like a communal bathroom if you're in one of the high-rise buildings or MSV. Those are what Hawkworks is for. If you have a problem with the washers or dryers, that's what Hawkworks is for. If you see a problem in an academic building, Hawkworks is there. So I want to know what's your experiences with Hawkworks? How do you use it? You know, did you know that they want these maintenance requests for other areas? Like if you want to reply to the Discord channel, again, I left threads with these same questions on the general channel in the Discord. So please do respond to those, because we are looking for input. And yeah, I think that's all I have. I'm ready for questions.
Are there any questions for Nova? Seeing none, I think we can move on to the next report. Thank you. All righty, Pedite. So, Isaiah, come on up.
All right. Totally been here the whole meeting. All right, so to start off, I've mentioned it a couple times before, we're gonna have constitutional conventions to kind of figure out kind of how we want to structure SGA. There's a lot of different ideas and a lot of things that just do need to change. They will be 12 to 1 on Saturdays. The reason I don't have like an exact room yet is just because I'm working with OCL and Caitlin to figure out where it's going to be. Praying it'll be here, expect it to be here. I'll send an email out to everyone when that's all confirmed, but it'll be 12 to 1. I'll let you know when that starts, all that jazz. I just want to say as well, so a senator at Loyola's student government reached out to me, and we're basically having intercollegiate summit with a bunch of Chicago-wide universities, including, but not limited to, because I just don't remember. Of course, Illinois Tech will be there, Loyola will be there, University of Chicago, DePaul, the School of the Art of Chicago, St. Xavier University, I think UIC as well. A lot of our schools are going to be there. We're just going to talk about some common problems that we're seeing across our campus compared to their campuses, and just kind of how we can work together and just kind of collaborate on things concerning. So that is this Saturday. So of course, next week, I'll let y'all know kind of how that goes. Then earlier today, I had a meeting with the new vice president of enrollment. He's been at IIT for, I think, 3 months now. His name is Malik Singharam. And he seems to be kind of like our #1 supporter. He shares a lot of the same ideas that myself and the executive board have shared about a lot of different things. He agrees with it. And he has his own ideas as well that he wants to work with us on. So he told us, he said that at any point, if y'all want to, he doesn't mind coming down to kind of explain more about his role, what he can do. And just so you guys know, the VP of enrollment, the name might sound like it's just about maybe just admission. He does a pre and post enrollment, pre-enrollment being, of course, just admissions and all that jazz. Post enrollment means he's also over housing and student services and people that work on campus. So he's over quite a lot of campus. So he is probably the person we're going to be interacting the most with going into the new school year and all that jazz. So I just want to make sure you have a good relationship with him, because he really wants to work with us. Sorry, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right.
Cool. Unless there's any questions.
Thanks. think we can move on. All right. So with that, are there any senator reports or anything that a senator would like to say? Concerns, comments? Seeing none. Do we have anything for open floor either? Seeing none. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All right, cool. Done, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Have